What if I told you that every day reality is whispering in your ear, sending you signs, prompts, and gentle nudges, but you've been taught to tune them out? You see a headline that mirrors your deepest worry. A chance encounter gives you exactly the insight you've been seeking. A license plate, a melody on the radio, a phrase overheard, all lining up with uncanny precision. You shrug it off as coincidence, but deep down you've sensed there's more. And you're right, these coincidences are doors, not accidents. They are invitations to remember something ancient in you, a deeper intelligence operating behind the veil of logic. Today, we're pulling back that veil. We'll explore what these messages are, why they appear, and how to align with them to co-create a more meaningful life. We'll walk the trail from childhood intuition, through the filters of modern conditioning, into the latest discoveries in neuroscience and quantum theory. By the end, you won't just understand synchronicity, you'll know how to work with it, how to respond, and how to let it guide your path forward. Born open, the child's natural radar. Think back to when you were small. You felt energy in rooms before you even stepped inside. You noticed when the birds got quiet before it rained. You sensed when someone was thinking of you, long before they called. You saw magic in the ordinary, patterns in the clouds, hidden messages in dreams, strange alignments that felt like winks from the universe. But when you tried to share it, adults brushed it off. That's just your imagination, they said. So you learned to suppress your sensitivity. You were rewarded for logic, not intuition. Over time, the soft voice inside you grew faint. The world of wonder slowly gave way to rules, labels, and common sense. But that sense of connection never left you. It was only buried, waiting for you to remember. Our society runs on systems, education, economics, science, all designed to prioritize structure over spirit. In school, you're taught to memorize, categorize, analyze. You're rewarded for regurgitating facts, not for asking deeper questions. We inherit a worldview where randomness rules, where intuition is suspect, where synchronicity is downgraded to nothing more than pattern recognition or a quirk of memory. But what if the system isn't designed to help you awaken, but to keep you asleep? It's not malicious, it's mechanical. The machine needs workers, not mystics. So we trade wonder for certainty, curiosity for conformity, and yet something in you resists. Because you've seen the cracks, you've felt the pull of something greater. Not everyone bought into the randomness narrative. Carl Jung spoke of meaningful coincidences that defied logic, but pointed to deep psychic order. He called it synchronicity. Nikola Tesla believed the universe was a symphony of vibration and frequency. He claimed his ideas came from patterns he could feel but not explain. Einstein, the poster child of logic, said, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift." He relied on hunches as much as formulas. And beyond science, indigenous shamans, mystics, artists, and seers have always spoken of a world alive with signs. They didn't dismiss them, they followed them. The mechanics behind the magic. Let's get into the mechanisms that make synchronicity possible. The Reticular Activating System, RAS. Your brain filters out the vast majority of sensory information every second. What you notice is determined by your focus. Think of the RAS as a spotlight operator. When you buy a red car, suddenly red cars are everywhere. They were always there, you just started seeing them. Apply this to synchronicity. When you become aware of the signs, your brain starts showing you more of them. The observer effect. In quantum physics, the act of observing influences what is observed. The famous double-slit experiment showed that particles behave differently when measured. This suggests that consciousness affects matter. Reality isn't fixed, it responds to your awareness. The law of vibration. Everything, thoughts, emotions, matter, vibrates at a frequency. Like attracts like. If you're vibrating at fear, you'll resonate with events that match that state. If you shift into gratitude, curiosity, or love, you shift your broadcast, and the external world begins reflecting it. The subconscious architect. Your subconscious is the operating system beneath your awareness. It connects dots you miss, scans for opportunities, and nudges you with intuitive hits. When you set an intention, you're programming your subconscious to notice relevant clues. It becomes a magnet for alignment. If synchronicities are everywhere, why don't more people see them? Because most people are too busy, too logical, too distracted, staring into screens, analyzing the past, worrying about the future. They dismiss the odd moment, the perfect timing, the repeating numbers as noise. They forget how to listen. And the signals fade. It's like standing in front of a symphony with noise-cancelling headphones. The music is still playing, you just aren't tuned in. Here's how to begin listening again. Start your day with openness. Begin each morning with a short intention. What am I meant to see today? That single question primes your mind to notice. Keep a synchronicity journal. Write down every strange alignment, pattern, or repeating theme. Over time, you'll see your personal symbolic language emerge. The more you track, the more you'll notice. The more you notice, the more synchronicities arrive. Raise your vibration gratitude, stillness, nature, creativity. These states expand your perception. They put you in resonance with guidance. Practice noticing beauty. Practice presence. These are the tuning forks. Ask for signs, don't wait. Engage. Say, show me if I'm on the right path. Then be open to how the answer comes. It won't be a billboard. It might be a word, repeated by strangers, or a line from a song that hits you in the chest. Trust the feeling. Your body knows, your intuition knows. If something lights you up or makes your chest tighten, pay attention. That's guidance, speaking through sensation. Synchronicities show up in three primary ways. Repeating numbers. These aren't random. Numbers carry frequency. In ancient systems, they represented principles, unity, balance, growth. When you see them, ask, what am I being reminded of? Symbolic echoes. Animals, songs, phrases, dreams that show up multiple times in a short span. These are patterns. Pay attention to how they make you feel. What's happening in your life? What decision are you weighing? Perfect timing. You think of someone, and they call. You're doubting your path, and someone tells you exactly what you needed to hear. These moments are mirrors, not accidents. Once a synchronicity appears, ask yourself, what was I just thinking about? What decision is in front of me? Does this confirm something I've been sensing? Have I seen this pattern before? Your answers will reveal the message, and the more you respond, the clearer the signals become. Recognition isn't enough. You must act. This is where most people stop. They notice, but hesitate. They want more proof. They want certainty. But that's not how synchronicity works. It's not a final answer. It's an invitation. The universe is showing you a door. You still have to walk through it. When you act on synchronicity, you reinforce the signal, you validate the connection, and the system responds by opening more doors. How to attract more synchronicities? It comes down to 3 steps. Set intention. The clearer your aim, the more aligned the signs become. Don't be vague, be specific. Ask, show me the next step in finding my purpose. Or, reveal what I need to release. Align your energy. Synchronicity is a frequency match. If you're tense, skeptical, or closed, you block the signal. Shift into curiosity. Wonder, presence. That's the channel where signs flow. Take inspired action. When the sign comes, respond. Text the person, say yes to the invite, start the project. Action is what locks the energy in place. It tells the universe, I got the message, and then it sends more. Once you begin living this way, reality changes. It stops feeling random. You feel accompanied, guided. Even when things fall apart, you trust the timing. You notice themes, symbols, alignments that weave through your days. You start seeing life as a dialogue, a two-way conversation between you and something larger. And that's because it is. Collective synchronicity. Some people see patterns not just for themselves, but for others. Artists channel stories that touch millions. Entrepreneurs feel trends before they happen. Healers find the perfect words without knowing why. These aren't guesses, these are transmissions. When enough people start listening, synchronicity becomes a collective intelligence, a shared field. Who's sending the signs? So where do these synchronicities come from? Some say it's your higher self, others call it God. Jung spoke of the collective unconscious. Indigenous traditions speak of the Great Spirit. You can name it what you like. What matters is this: it's responsive, and it's waiting for your attention. Synchronicities are more than curiosities, they are coordinates, breadcrumbs. You can ignore them and drift back into noise, or you can follow them and step into alignment. You already know this isn't random, you felt it. So now ask yourself, where am I being led? What am I being asked to remember? What's the next right step? Because the more you engage, the more reality reveals. The signs are already there. The question is, will you listen? Will you act? Because when you do, life begins to dance with you, and every step becomes part of a deeper rhythm, a rhythm you were born remembering, and now you're ready to hear it again. Even in the darkest moments, especially in them, synchronicity whispers. A book falls off a shelf when you're breaking down. A stranger offers a word that changes everything. The right person shows up when all seems lost. Synchronicity is not about escaping challenge. It's about navigating it with deeper trust. Pain narrows your focus, but signs can expand it again. When you remember to look up, you realize you were never alone. Creating a synchronicity practice. Make it a part of your life, a ritual. Each morning, light a candle, set an intention, ask for a sign. Each evening, reflect on what came through. What did you notice? What felt aligned? Like any practice, consistency builds clarity. You strengthen the signal, you deepen the relationship. Over time, you won't need to ask for signs, you'll live inside them. The final layer, you are the sign. Here's the paradox: you seek signs outside, but you are a sign yourself. Your desires, your longings, your fascinations, they're not random. They are signals from the deeper part of you, calling you home. Your life is a message the universe is writing into the world. So follow what lights you up. Trust what draws you in. Respond to the rhythm that only you can hear. Because when you do, synchronicity doesn't just guide you, it becomes you.